Let me start with a prediction that sounds dramatic, but it really isn't. AI is about to change business forever. Now, I don't mean that, a few new apps just dropped or anything like that. I mean the kind of change where 5 years from now, you look back and you'll think, wow, really? Did we used to do things that way? Right? Because AI isn't just helping you to do the same work faster, it's changing what work even looks like. It's changing what companies need to hire for, it's changing what customers expect, and it's changing what good enough means. And most business owners are reacting to it like it's a productivity trick, right? They're trying to use it to write emails faster, or to generate social media posts, or to brainstorm names for products. All of that is fine, but it's basically like you're discovering electricity and using it to power a flashlight while ignoring the fact that you could be building a factory. I want to give you the real picture of what's coming, not hype and not fear, right? Because there's a lot of that in the AI space, business reality. And I'll show you what winners will do differently than the losers, in my opinion. Here's the simplest way to understand why AI is different. Every major shift in business history has done one thing. It's lowered the cost of something that used to be expensive. That's it. So the internet lowered the cost of distribution. Email lowered the cost of communication. Cloud software lowered the cost of infrastructure. AI lowers the cost of thinking work, right? Not all thinking, not like vision, not leadership, not judgment, because it doesn't have judgment. It's basically a word guesser. But the kind of thinking that happens in the middle of business every single day. Summarizing, drafting, planning, researching, explaining, clarifying, documenting, coordinating. A lot of the work inside a company is just basically moving information around. And historically, people had those jobs, and you pay people for that because you didn't really have another option. But now you do, right? And this is why AI is not just another tool, and you shouldn't be just, looking at, okay, what cool new gadgets and, social media posts you can write with it. It's basically a shift in the economics of work. And whenever the economics change, then the business models change with them. So now let's talk about what exactly changes when the cost of thinking work collapses. Well, three things, and I'll give you examples for each of them. So number one is the speed of business increases. Number two is the minimum quality standard goes up. And number three, companies reorganize because workforce composition will change, right? So now let's talk through all of these three one by one. So number one, speed will become a weapon. So right now, most business owners lose deals for one of the most, stupid reasons on earth, because they're slow. They miss the call, they reply tomorrow, they take 3 days to send the proposal, they forget to follow up. I mean, that's a huge one. People don't really follow up, or not in the way that they should. And then the customer doesn't really compare options. They just go with the first competent response. And you can, think about how you behave in the market when you're the customer and you're trying to get, I don't know, a service company to do something for you. Well, whoever's the first competent response usually gets the job, right? Now, let's imagine a different world, the world of where every lead gets a response instantly, right? Every inquiry gets triaged. Every proposal can be drafted quickly, almost instantly. Follow-ups happen automatically, and the business is basically always on. Now, that doesn't mean that AI replaces your sales team. It's AI removes the delay between interest and action. And speed won't be just a nice to have, it will win markets. In the same way that Amazon didn't win because their products were magical, they won because the experience was frictionless and fast. That's why Amazon became such a giant company. And AI is going to give that ability to businesses that historically couldn't afford it, right? So that's the first change. Slow businesses will get punished dramatically. Not by better marketing, but by faster competitors. Change number two, customer expectations will dramatically shift up. Now that one is deadly for a lot of businesses, because when something becomes common, customers stop seeing it as special, right? They see it as just as the baseline. So 10 years ago, free shipping was amazing. Now people get annoyed if shipping takes more than 2 days, right? They're already asking hey, where's my package, right? They also get annoyed if you charge for shipping quite often. So the same thing is about to happen with service, response times, and with clarity. Because when AI makes instant response and clarity possible, then customers will stop tolerating confusing onboarding, slow support, unclear answers, will get back to you, right? Messy processes, and just everything being slow and inefficient, because they will get used to what efficiency looks like in the AI world from your competitors and also from other things in their life, not just from, being a market participant. So you might think, okay, well, my customers aren't techie or my clients aren't techie. They don't really like know about any of this stuff. But it doesn't matter because customers don't compare you just to businesses inside your industry, but they will compare you to the best experience that they've had recently, right? So even if you run a small service business or a local business or let's say a small e-commerce brand, your customer's brain is getting trained by companies that use AI well. And that resets what feels normal for them, which means AI raises the baseline expectation in every industry. It doesn't matter where you operate, right? Now, change number 3, the average will die out, but the real value will become even more valuable. And that's where most people get it wrong. They think that AI means that everyone is doomed. Like AI is going to take your job, it's going to replace us all and blah, 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 right? No, that's not true at all. What it means is that average execution becomes very cheap, right? Because when everyone can draft a decent email and when everyone can create decent ad copy and when everyone can write a decent sales page, then those things stop being a competitive advantage, right? It means that the advantage simply moves up the chain. So the winning advantage become things like great offers, deep customer insight, strong positioning, excellent operations. That's a big one, right? Brand that people can trust, consistent delivery, speed and reliability. Those will become the competitive advantages, not how, great of a hook you can write for Facebook ads, because anybody can do that within 20 seconds, even a 15-year-old with no experience. So let's say it plainly, right? AI doesn't kill businesses. It kills businesses that were surviving because everyone else was also inefficient. Because right now, the bar is pretty low in most industries. And I mean, if you're a customer or a client in the market experiencing this, like you're not alone, right? It doesn't take that much to stand out. But that will change dramatically when AI is implemented across the board. So businesses that have been coasting on, it's good enough, right, will really feel the pressure. But businesses that build real infrastructure, they will become monsters and basically unbeatable. And that brings us to the real dividing line. So the real dividing line, as I see it, are systems. This is the part that I want you to remember because AI doesn't magically fix a massive business, but it amplifies whatever you already are. So if you have clean operations, if you have clean workflows, ownership, your team is trained and that sort of stuff, then AI becomes a turbocharger. It makes you faster, it makes you cheaper, it makes you more consistent. It just elevates everything that you do in your business. Your operations become that much more efficient, right? But if your business is chaotic, then AI will not save you, right? It will just give you more outputs to manage. And that's why you see 2 types of reaction right now out there in the market. So some business owners are trying AI and they think this is life-changing, like they get it, right? But others are trying it and they think like, well, this is useless, right? Or they can't even get like a good email written from ChatGPT. But the difference isn't the AI. The difference is whether their business has a real operating system because AI needs something to plug into, right? Like you need to give it an input to get a quality output. If you give it a bad input, you're going to get a bad output. And then you're going to blame the machine in between when really it's your responsibility to use it in the correct way. So here's what smart businesses are doing right now and what you should actually be doing. Just don't simply play with AI tools that are, gimmicks and gadgets, right? Don't learn prompt engineering and don't follow AI influencers, I would say, if you're a business owner. If you want to become like an AI, tech expert, then yeah, maybe. But really smart businesses are doing 3 very sort of boring things, right? First of all, they're mapping their workflows. They're saying, okay, how does work actually move through my company? Second, they're documenting the basics. I don't mean like writing, corporate manuals, 100-page SOPs and stuff like this. No, simple SOPs, checklists, definitions of how done looks like, and so on. And third, they're installing AI in all the right places, right? You can turn meetings into tasks. You can turn messy notes into SOPs. You can turn customer support into structured responses. You can turn weekly reporting into a simple, quick brief that your leadership can act on or you can act on. And across the board, you're reducing bottlenecks that were eating a lot of the company's time, either from you, the founder, or from your team. And that's it. So you don't want to treat AI like a simple toy. You want to treat it like an operations layer. So like I said, AI is about to change business forever. And it's not because it's a shiny new thing. It's because it changes the economics of execution. And whenever execution becomes cheaper and faster, the real winners are the businesses with real systems, real offers, clarity, and operational maturity. Because again, you won't be able to use AI if your business is chaotic and it's not systemized, right? It's not going to really help you beyond doing a few simple things like, writing your emails or whatever. So the question is not really, will AI replace you? The question is, will AI expose that your business is held together by me? So are you going to get stuck on the other side of the fence because your business wasn't ready for AI? That's how you should be thinking, right? And if it is, if you have that problem, then you've got work to do, right? And if it isn't, then you're about to have a massive advantage. You already have it if you're systemized, but with AI, it's going to be exponentially higher because, again, AI will amplify what already exists in a small business.